We have a bunch of traders who just couldn't lock in their profits. The first one went from $1,000 to $100,000 to losing $65,000, and all of that happened in just 5 days. Someone went from an $80,000 gain to God knows how low, and this trader doubled his account in just a day, but then he decided to hold overnight. And we are starting off with an insane loss by one Mal4203, who previously made 5k on 3 consecutive days and closed his positions for a 15k gain, although he was not out of debt yet, with his last statement being that the risk to reward was a big part of how he got into so much debt in the first place. He just kept thinking if he can lose this much money on options, then he can make back as much money. Live by the options, die by the options. What the options taketh away, the options giveth back, we'll see. And I guess he answered himself with this next play. As I said, he was making 5k, then even 20k a day after starting the month at just 1k. At some point he was even up to more than $100,000, and then he paid off half of his debt, broke his rules and lost 65k in total. Well, time to start over on Monday. And yeah, in just a day he lost around 30k, with his total unrealized loss being $53,420.41, which came from just one position. Alibaba call options with a striking price at $90 and an expiration date of September the 15th. So what happened between being caught by $100,000 to losing $65,000? First of all, somebody asked him what was he doing when he was winning that was different, and his answer speaks for itself. He was winning and closing positions. And yeah, he's gotten better at closing winning positions, but not at closing losing positions. He tried to double or quadruple down in order to lower the average buying price. It's called the fallacy, don't catch a falling knife. So he needs some exit prices to cut losses, just like taking profits. And exactly this happened with his Alibaba position, which he opened last week while he was making huge profits on other positions. He doubled down when it dipped dramatically and then never exited this week. And I think his words perfectly sum up his insane journey from 1k to 100k to losing 65k. Next we have a huge gain by Zerg Bob, who also learned a pretty tough lesson about taking profits. He's down by 267% or $78,165.99 because he bought 50 Nvidia put options with a striking price at $432.50 and an expiration date on September the 22nd. He bought them on Monday, which means he made around 80k in just 4 days, and he bought them because Nvidia is way overpriced at the moment. As bad news are coming out for the overall market, you have to sell Nvidia gains and buy the stocks that have more potential for growth. The chances of Nvidia going higher from an all-time high are a lot less than other companies that have better PE. Having that said, on Thursday he said that if you look at the open interest for options expiring tomorrow, which is extremely important given the fact that it is tomorrow, Nvidia is poised to drop to $395 and close at $400. At least this is what the option chain was suggesting from where he saw it. And he was so sure in his conviction that even though he already flexed his gain on WallStreetBets, he decided not to sell and hold overnight, while he was planning to exit around noon on Friday, because that is when he thought the morning pop will revert. And oh boy was he wrong. On Friday Nvidia absolutely popped up and closed at almost 2% in the green. Naturally other traders wanted him to post the aftermath, but he just didn't want to show how regarded he is. And I can't even believe I'm saying this, but we have another trader who wishes he would have locked in his profits. First of all, we can see the trader by the name of Majobi83 made a huge gain as he's up by 95% or $21,552.75 just today, and is holding overnight. What exactly is he holding? 60 SPY put options with a striking price at $434 and expiration date to September the 25th. In my opinion, you should always stick to if it's good enough to screenshot, it's good enough to sell, but we shall see what actually happens. Luckily he has a 401k he doesn't touch, and this is his play account. Having that said, he did just throw down all his profits for the last 2 days on this play, so if it goes bust, he's back where he was yesterday, so he shall sleep tight. And with that type of mentality, it's no wonder his all-time chart looks like this. Well, the next day before the market opened, he was thinking about switching to calls at open, but everyone was making him think of buying more puts, and right after the market opened, his puts were down 20%. Then they they went up by a bit, but then just continued dropping. So he closed them out at about a 25% overall profit, which was supposedly his initial goal, and that is why you always sell after taking a screenshot. Anyway, next we have an insane gain by Endo 421, who turned just 3k into 23k in 2 days. He was at $4,700 yesterday and had SPY put options with a striking price at $445 and expiration date on September the 21st, and puts with a striking price at $442 and expiration date on September the 22nd. He had about 15 contracts of 442 twos puts, and when it started to tank, he bought 15 more at 90 cents. All of a sudden, at 2:30 PM, it takes off, and this morning they're worth $8.20. Sadly, he sold a couple yesterday for around $4, and if his 445 puts expired on September the 22nd instead of the 21st, he would have really bailed out. He also had 2 Adobe put options with a striking price at $530 and an expiration date on September the 22nd, and 1 Tesla put with a striking price at $267.50 and an expiration date on the same day. These puts went from about $2.80 to $15 and $1.80 to $10 respectively. Somehow he's now turned $2,000 into $30k in the last month, but sadly this huge gain represents just a small bump on his all-time chart, as he's still down by 67% or $40,450.65. Otherwise, he's self-employed accountant and makes decent money paying minimal taxes. So basically all the money he lost is what he should have given the government all these years. Obviously he's just kidding. Next up we have a huge loss by Sylphanas, who lost $56,052.67. Now looking at his chart, we can see that he was holding on, even making some gains before it all started falling, and even then it looked like he could have recovered, but instead he just lost all of it. So now that he wiped out his regular account, it's time to wipe out his IRA. And if nothing else, he's a man of his word. A couple of days later he posted that he can't make a single good trade as he's down on all of his options on AMC, AMD, Chewy, Elf, Unity and Novavax, and he's left with $49,487.67 in his Roth IRA. To make it all worse, he wasn't even playing with his own money and lost everything on his 20k loan in just 1 day, and set a new record by being down 50k in 2 days, and at the end he lost 80k in just a week and is left with just 20k, with his last 2 losses being on 31 Alibaba call options with a striking price at $215 and expiration date on October the 6th, and LVS calls with a striking price at $49 and an expiration date on September the 22nd. And last but not least, we have an insane gain by Liquidated AF, who turned $8,000 into $51,000 with Tesla puts. More specifically, he bought 20 puts with a striking price at $257.50 and 25 puts with a striking price at $260, all of them expiring on September the 22nd. He bought these set puts because when Tesla spiked to $272 before FOMC, he noticed how cheap these were and said it. And the next ones he's eyeing are Deere & Company calls with a striking price at $192.50 for $100 next week. This stock moves and the options move a ton. He's made some nice gains with it. For example, he bought puts with a striking price at $400 at $120 before the FOMC and sold them today for $2,000. This stock always bounces hard, and if you want to see how this trader consistently lost $1,000 a week for the past 3 years, click on the video that just popped up. If you like my content, make sure to subscribe, and if you have any questions or recommendations, leave them in the comments down below, and thanks for watching.